Hello students, welcome to Alforce e-learning senior intermediate English class. In the previous session we discussed the poem of module 2, The Magical Earth. Dear students, let's continue our journey with another poem from module 3, that is Polonius' advice to his son. So dear students, before I start the session, I would like to give you some information. You all know very well that it is the strategy of the elders to worry about their young ones. They frequently give suggestions. You might have noticed your elders about your prosperity, and you might have noticed the anxiety, especially of your father and mother, about your movements and about you finally. So they feel it is their duty and they feel it is their responsibility, whether the young ones listen to them or not, they go on giving pieces of advice. The younger generation, they may listen, but they do whatever they want. Is it not known to the elders? They know. In spite of that, they give pieces of advice because they worry about their children. So regarding that, there is a wonderful poem in our second year English, Polonius' advice to his son. It was written in 1500s. This is 21st century. At that time also, a father, how he worried about his son, that is prevailing even at present also. So coming to the poet, you know very well William Shakespeare, hailed not of an age but for all ages. He is known to all generations. So this gentleman was born to John Shakespeare and Mary Arden at Stratford upon Avon, and he was baptized, means he was given name on 26th April 1564. Okay, and he studied, then he was married to Anne Hathaway. He was married to Anne Hathaway at the age of 18 and he had 3 children. Widely regarded as the greatest poet of the world, Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, several poems and many essays between 1590 and 1612. And among them there are comedies, tragedies and historical dramas. Comedies, you take The Merchant of Venice, Twelfth Night, tragedies Othello, King Lear, and historical dramas Julius Caesar and Richard II. What a wonderful writer he is. He is eternal with his dramas. So that's why he is regarded as the Bard of Avon. Bard means poet. So this particular poem is extracted from Shakespeare's tragedy Hamlet. Shakespeare's drama, that is Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3, lines 57 to 81. So here the words are used, thee means you, thy means your, thou means you, like that. Try to understand. Dear students, who is Polonius then? Polonius is the chief counselor. It is presented in present tense. Polonius is the chief counselor of Claudius, the king, and Polonius' son Laertius is ready to leave for France to join a university there. Before his leaving, as a father, Polonius gives him some maxims, some precepts, some adages, wise sayings, as he felt it is his responsibility, it is his accountability. Okay, dear students, and the cleverness of the world famous poet Shakespeare is he compacted many things in a brief poem. Many things are revealed as he believes in, or he has a conviction in, that is brevity is the soul of wit. And this gentleman passed away 23rd April 1616, and in 2016 his death anniversary, 400th death anniversary celebrations were held. So that is the brief note of the poet of Polonius' advice to his son. Dear students, listen to the video well, because the things which Polonius revealed to his son are very, 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 very useful to everybody if they follow them. So let me start. There my blessings with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory, see thou character. Where is he going? Where is he leaving for? He is leaving for France. He is leaving for France. You will have my blessings, my dear son. And dear son, these precepts, these wise sayings, you please keep in your mind. And they will determine your character. They will show or they will exhibit your character. You know, dear students, character is very important to everyone. If character is lost, everything else is lost. Character, not brain, will count at the crucial moment. Character is destiny. Character is strength to an individual. So if you remember these precepts, these maxims in your memory, then definitely you can build up your character very well. To get a good name, it takes years together, but to get bad name, one fraction of second is sufficient. So here, give thy thoughts no tongue. We have many thoughts in our brain, in our day-to-day life. Thy means your thoughts. You have thoughts. When you have a thought in your brain, obviously that comes out of your mouth in the form of utterances or in the form of words. Give thy thoughts no tongue. Whatever thought you get, don't speak it out. Here what he says is, before you speak, you think properly. Because once you deliver a word or once you disclose something, that is all over the world, that is exposed to the world, you cannot get it back. We may get money that is lost by us. We may get prosperity back. But the word we deliver, we don't get back. Therefore, before you speak, think and speak. That is very, very essential, my dear son, he says like that. Nor any unproportioned thought is act. When you act, the action should also be proper. Before you take an action, thought leads to deed. That means action, and action leads to accomplishment. If the action is good. If your thought is good, eventually action is good. If your thought is bad, naturally action will be bad. Therefore, before you act, think once again. Don't take hasty decisions. Don't be hasty in your actions. Think before you act. Think before you speak. What a wise saying. Dear students, you have to follow that. You have to learn from it. We have to put them in practice. Naturally, we can be peaceful in our life. Okay. Be thou familiar but by no means vulgar. You may be familiar to anybody, but under any circumstances you should not be vulgar. When we maintain intimacy or proximity or close association with anybody, we should not take undue advantage. We should not take it as a choice as we are kith and kin to somebody, and if we speak or act in a vulgar manner, that is very bad. Never be vulgar. That means you should be within your limits. Don't cross your limits. Don't exceed your limits. When you are within the boundaries, you will not face any problem. Though you are very close, don't give unnecessary suggestions unless you are asked to give a piece of advice. Don't give. You feel that it is none of your business unless you are asked. Though the person is very familiar to you, very close to you. That is one thing, remember. Next, regarding friendship. Those friends thou hast. Here hast means have. Thou means you. You have friends, of course. You can maintain friendship. No problem. And their adoption tried. When you try for friends and you maintain close association with friends, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. You can have a strong bond. So here some sort of comparison. You take the wires of steel and you can bind over with your friend. That means very close association with your friend. No problem. But remember, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatched, unfledged comrade. New hatched means newly produced. Unfledged means inexperienced. Comrade means friends. Dear friends, you remember, before you make friendship with anybody, you should be very conscious. You should know about him. You should know about her. Okay, there are two types of friends. True friends like diamonds, very rare and precious. And false friends like autumn leaves we can find anywhere. If you make a friendship with anybody, you should know about him, because you are going to a far distance place. You can meet so many strange people. You can make friendship, but be careful. Be careful. In society, when we move with people, we should be conscious of everything. That is very, very important, my dear son. Like that he says to his son. Polonius says to his son Lauretus. Next, you see here. Beware of quarrel, but being in. Beware of quarrel, but being in. So you try to avoid quarrels. You should be very careful about quarrels. Don't involve in any quarrels, that is always good. But when it becomes inevitable, but when it becomes unavoidable, when you are constrained or compelled or forced to involve in a quarrel, that's what he says here. But being in, that means when you are forced to involve in a quarrel, here this is conjunction and be form is used. This is the brevity the poet uses here. But being in, that means when you involve in quarrel, be art that you are like that. The opposed may beware of thee. Create some sort of fear in your opponent. He should be aware of you. First thing, you avoid quarrels. But when it is necessary, when it is compulsory to involve in a quarrel, the opposed must beware of you. He should be frightened. He should have a fear of you. So like that you create a fear in him. Otherwise, don't involve in any quarrel. You yourself don't involve in quarrel. Dear son, remember. Next here, give every man thy ear, but a few thy voice. You listen to everybody, no problem. Because when we are in society, we happen to meet different people. We have to listen to the words of different people, but few thy voice, you speak less. Don't speak much. Others may speak, listen to them, but you speak less, my dear son. That's what he says. And take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. सबका सुनना, अपना करना. You can take the advice, you can take the suggestion, or even sometimes people may criticize us when we do anything. Receive that. But you reserve your own judgment. You know what you are. When we want to do anything, different people come to us and give different suggestions. We know what we are. We should do according to our conscience, according to our thought process. We have to reserve a judgment. Take suggestions, no doubt. Don't refuse to take suggestions. Listen to them and take your own decision. You take suggestions, follow to some extent, but you should have your own judgment. Final judgment should be yours only, because life is yours. You will have to lead the life. You will have to face the consequences, my dear son. Therefore, reserve the judgment. Dear students, you see here, costly thy habit as thy purse can buy. You can have costly habits. You can wear beautiful apparels. But according to your purse, according to your financial position, you can get them. You can wear a wonderful dress, but the dress should not be fancy. It should not be showy, and it may not be rich according to your financial position only. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Whatever the amount you have, according to that you can purchase the dress. And the dress should not be too bright. It should not be clumsy and awkward. It should be very neat, because here the apparel of means often proclaims the man, announces, reveals. We can judge to some extent the mentality of a man with his appearance also. There are some people who are very strange in their attitude, and even such people do not have proper dress sense. We should have proper dress sense, because it reveals our posture. Of course, appearances are deceptive. That's a different concept. The person who wears a costly dress may not be good in his attitude, but a person who wears a cheap dress may be good in his attitude. That's a different concept. But the dress should look good. And dear son, here he says, and they in France, the people in France, especially the best rank, who have the best rank and position, and a most select man and a generous chief, they may wear costly dresses. For instance, let me say, don't compare with them. A rich man wears a costly dress. You see that? And how can you get a costly dress? Whatever the amount you have, in that or with that amount you get the dress which should be good. Don't compare with others. Under any circumstances, whatever the dress wear that is worn by you, that should be good. Okay, and the most important in one's life, these two lines. You see here, neither a borrower nor a lender be. Never take money from others and never give money to others. Because for loan oft loses both itself and friend. Two friends are very close to each other. When the pecuniary matter comes in between them, when the monetary matter comes, one day there will be an effect to their friendship. You lend money to somebody, and that somebody does not pay you that money back. What happens? You lose your friend and you lose your money also. Therefore, remember, you may be blamed if you don't lend money. With that blame, there ends the matter. But once you give money, total friendship is collapsed. There may be a possibility, I mean to say. Therefore, don't give money and don't take money from others. Why? and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. When you start to take money from others, you do not know the value of money. Easy coming and easy going. You know the value of what you have if you have struggled to earn it. If you earn 1 lakh rupees in a month, बहुत मेहनत करके you earn 1 lakh rupees. You put sincere efforts, work hard like anything, and you won't dare enough to spend that money freely. You don't become a spendthrift. But you got 1 lakh rupees without putting any efforts. It is given to you by X. You don't know the use of money properly. If you get money easily, how to use money one should know. When one can know the use of money properly, when one earns money with hard work. Therefore, dear students, you also remember, never take money from others, never give. You will be free from different constraints. This above all, my dear son, he says, and dear students, I say here, to thine own self be true. You should be truthful to yourself. First of all, you should have confidence on you. I am doing some work. I can achieve. When you do not have confidence, then you cannot reach the destination. Be truthful to yourself. Be faithful to yourself. Be determined. Be confident. Be industrious. Be diligent. Be sincere. And it must follow as the night the day. Night obviously follows the day. You should be truthful in that way. You should follow the adages. You should follow the wise sayings. You should follow them. You should follow them. That's it. As the night follows the day. Eventually, naturally, night follows the day. You should also follow the precepts. Be truthful. Be confident. And all the above said precepts you have to follow. Thou canst, here canst means can, not. You cannot then false to any man. Nobody can show a finger at you. You cannot be false to anybody. No person can find a mistake in you. You can fabricate or you can build up your character like that, your posture like that, your attitude like that. People cannot have anything to talk about you because you have all these qualities, all these virtues. And farewell, my dear son, my blessing season this in thee. My blessing season this in you. My blessings will be with you. My son, please follow. So this is the poem, my dear students. Even today also, if we follow these precepts, we can be peaceful in our life. We can be happy in our life. There won't be any quarrels. If any person criticizes you, take it easy. Be truthful to yourself. Okay. And here, my dear students, in the beginning, he clearly revealed that before you speak, before you act, be careful. And though familiar to anybody, never be vulgar. You can make friends, but think about the friends before making friendship. Avoid quarrels when it is necessary. Create fear in the opponent. Take every man's censure, but reserve your judgment. Apparels maintain dignity in your dressing. Have very good dress sense, but don't compare with the people in France. They may be rich, they may wear rich clothes, but you wear according to your purse. Most important thing is never give money to others, never take money from others, because we lose both. And when you take money from others, you do not know how to utilize the money. And the most important thing is you must be truthful to yourself. Then nobody can show a finger at you. Nobody can have a choice to criticize you. My dear son, you have my blessings. And dear students, I think you have understood it well. And by learning this poem, you can change your attitude. Follow and see the result. Okay, dear students, with this poem 3 is completed. I hope that you will definitely follow the precepts given by Polonius. Even in this generation also, I wish you good luck. Thank you.